Welcome to Long Story Spoken.
Long stories, spoken simply.
Welcome back to Long Story Spoken, the podcast where we dive deep into fascinating topics. And sometimes we tackle things I know absolutely nothing about. And today, my co-host and resident bookworm, Luke, has brought us a real head-scratcher. The Art of Laziness. Overcome procrastination and improve your productivity. Luke, are you trying to tell me something here?
Not at all, Katie, though I think we can all admit to a little bit of creative procrastination now and then. But seriously, this book, The Art of Laziness by Library Mindset, is surprisingly insightful. It's not about doing nothing. It's about being incredibly efficient and intentional with your time so you can have more downtime. Before we jump in, for everyone listening, if you're curious about this book and want to grab a copy, check the description below for our affiliate link.
Okay, so it's not about becoming a couch potato, which is a relief. The title definitely grabbed my attention, but the overcome procrastination part is what I'm hoping you'll shed some light on. Where do we even begin with a concept like the art of laziness?
Well, the book is cleverly structured into two main parts: mindset and tips and techniques. And honestly, the mindset section is where the real groundwork is laid. It's about changing how you think about yourself and your actions.
So, mindset first. That makes sense? What's the first big idea the author throws at us?
The very first concept, and it's a powerful one, is 100% responsibility. The book argues that it's useless to blame others, your friends, family, job, or anything else, for your problems or lack of progress.
Whoa, that's a tough pill to swallow for some people. So, if I say I don't have time to exercise because my job keeps me too busy, the book says that's on me.
Exactly. The author emphasizes that blaming others might make us feel good temporarily, convincing our minds that we're helpless, but it doesn't solve anything. There's always something you can do, even if it's just changing your approach or perspective. Only action helps you achieve your goals. No one else can do it for you. He says if you're lazy, it's your fault. If you're unhappy, it's your fault. If you're a procrastinator, it's your fault. It's about taking ownership of your situation. The book also discusses mistakes, not to hate them or love them, but to learn and move on. Dwelling on mistakes wastes time and energy. Moving on from responsibility, the next big mindset shift is about your comfort zone. The book calls it your enemy, stating, "A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there."
This I understand. It's easy to stick to what you know. Like, for me, it's easy to just follow my usual podcast routine. But if I want to grow, I have to try new segments or interview styles, which can be a bit scary.
Precisely. The book says a huge reason people are lazy or procrastinate is because they're too comfortable. Growth demands you step out of that comfort zone and do the hard things. It's easy to scroll social media all day, but your body knows it's wasting time, which is why you feel bad afterwards. The author urges us to do them now, referring to the things we want to do, because time is running out and we might not have the energy later. It also emphasizes speed, and to keep it simple, advocating for starting as soon as possible without overthinking.
So, once we're out of our comfort zone and taking responsibility, what's next for our mindset?
The book then talks about work on the right things. This is about doing meaningful work. The author says, "You will always be lazy if you don't love what you do. And if your work is repetitive and flavorless, it's hard to find happiness in it."
That resonates. I mean, if I wasn't passionate about Long Story Spoken, it would feel like a chore, right?
Exactly. The book argues that no work is more important than life. It also touches on how if you don't choose your work, someone else will, and you might not like it. It pushes you to find work that genuinely fulfills you. Next, it tackles "Don't be a perfectionist." The quote that stuck with me is, "Perfectionism is a disease. Procrastination is a disease. Action is the cure."
Okay, this is a big one for so many people. The fear of not doing something perfectly can stop you from doing it at all.
Precisely. The book clarifies it's not saying perfection is inherently bad, as beautiful things do exist because someone spent time on tiny details. But it suggests perfection isn't worth it in every part of your life. It highlights how being obsessed with perfection, like Leonardo da Vinci spending years on a single painting, can hinder progress in other areas. It's about finding a balance and recognizing when good enough is truly enough to move forward. The goal is to start and iterate, not to be paralyzed by the pursuit of an unattainable ideal. Following that, the book has a chapter called Don't Be Mediocre. It encourages readers to think big and not settle.
I like the sound of that. Don't be mediocre. What does the author mean by that in the context of laziness?
It's about tapping into your potential. The book claims that many people fall into mediocrity and lose their internal energy to do something great. It really pushes you to imagine yourself at 80, looking back and regretting not trying to push your boundaries, travel the world, or pursue your dreams. It states, you still have time. At least for now, you have it. But one day, there will be no time to do anything. Death will be standing at your door. The core message is that if you don't like your work, friends, thinking, or life, change them. A life of greatness is harder, but ultimately worth it. It's about striving for more and making the most of the time you have. Then we have the myth of multitasking. The book uses a fascinating example of the Mars Climate Orbiter, a $125 million spacecraft lost due to a simple error, where engineers failed to convert from English to metric units.
Wow, that's a very expensive mistake. And it was due to a unit conversion error. How does that relate to multitasking?
It's used to illustrate how doing more than one thing at a time, especially important tasks, sounds good but doesn't actually work. Multitasking reduces efficiency because we can't truly focus on multiple important things simultaneously. The book says it exhausts you faster and acts as a distraction, reducing your productivity. It suggests eliminating distractions, even deleting apps that consume your time, because regaining focus after even a 2-minute distraction can waste 10 minutes. The focus should be on single tasking for critical activities. The book also briefly touches on daily routine. While it doesn't give a specific routine, the underlying message is the importance of having a structured day to boost productivity.
So, it's about establishing habits that support your goals, even if it's just a simple framework.
Exactly. The idea is that a well-thought-out routine can minimize decision fatigue and ensure you're consistently working on what matters. It's about making your productivity almost automatic, freeing up mental energy for more complex tasks. It ties into doing the hard things first and prioritizing your day effectively. Next up is learn to say no. The author quotes Josh Billings. Half of the troubles of this life can be traced to saying yes too quickly and not saying no soon enough.
This is something I definitely struggle with. I often say yes to things just to be polite or not disappoint people, even when I'm already swamped.
Exactly. The book says, we often agree to things we don't want to do just to make others happy, but you have finite energy and time. If you say yes to every opportunity, you'll feel burdened and lose yourself. It advises saying no politely when you mean no, and yes when you mean yes, to take back control of your time. If you're saying yes to everything, it often means you're not focused on your own goals, or worse, you don't have any. It uses a great quote by Seneca. If you don't know what port you sail to, no wind is favorable. Saying no is about protecting your priorities.
So, saying no helps protect our time. What about the idea of working less? Because the next point is, don't work 24/7. That sounds like music to my ears.
It is. The book states that the goal of productivity isn't to work more, but the opposite, to get your work done in less time so you can spend time with friends and family. Working too long harms both creativity and productivity. It's not about how much time you spend, but how much work you get done.
That makes so much sense. I've definitely had those days where I'm at my desk for 10 hours, but only a few of them were truly productive.
The book calls out that sometimes people spend more time in the office to satisfy their ego, and if you're working a lot but not achieving goals, it might be because you're avoiding important tasks and doing less important ones. It's a form of procrastination, actually doing easy things to appear busy. Life is short, and you don't want to regret wasting it all on work. Taking breaks and having leisure time actually makes you more effective. Then we have don't wait. It's all about taking action now because the time is never going to be perfect.
I feel like this ties back to what we said about the comfort zone and perfectionism. It's like a recurring theme of just starting.
Absolutely. The book emphasizes that if you wait for the perfect time, better resources, or more experience, it might be too late. Even if you don't have a perfect plan, you can start today and figure things out. It also warns against looking for hacks or easy ways out before even starting. Learning is great, but it's not enough without putting in the work. The key is consistent, imperfect action over perfect inaction. Next up for mindset is do the hard thing first. This is a powerful productivity hack in itself, but the book places it under mindset because it requires a shift in how you approach your day.
So, if I have that one task I'm dreading, I should tackle it before anything else.
Exactly. The book argues that tackling your most challenging or unpleasant task first thing in the morning means it's done and off your plate. This prevents it from looming over you all day, causing anxiety and leading to procrastination. It's like eating the frog. Once the hardest part is over, the rest of your day feels easier and more productive. It builds momentum and confidence. Another critical mindset shift the book suggests is delegate. This is all about understanding that you don't have to do everything yourself.
That's a tough one for many of us, especially if you like to have control or think you can do it best.
It definitely is. The book explains that true productivity isn't about your capacity to do everything, but about your team's capacity. If someone else can do a task 80% as well as you, and it frees you up for higher value activities, then it's worth delegating. It's about leveraging others' skills and time. The author talks about focusing on your zone of genius and letting others handle tasks that aren't the best use of your unique abilities. It's about working smarter, not harder. And then there's how to learn anything faster. The book doesn't give a specific learning technique, but focuses on the mindset required for efficient learning.
So, it's not about flashcards, but about the approach to absorbing new information.
Precisely. The core idea is that you have to be open to learning and understand that failure is part of the process. It's about active learning, not passive consumption. The book emphasizes asking questions, experimenting, and immediately applying what you learn. It's also tied to the don't wait principle. Start learning now, even if you don't have all the resources, and refine as you go. Learning faster is a result of an open, action-oriented mindset. A really important point is surround yourself with the right people. This is pretty self-explanatory, but the book drives home the importance of being around people you love and who make you feel happy.
So, basically, ditch the negative Nancys and toxic Toms in your life.
Exactly. The book doesn't go into huge detail in the snippets, but the essence is clear. Your environment, especially the people in it, has a massive impact on your mindset and motivation. Positive, supportive relationships uplift you and encourage productivity, while negative ones can drain your energy and foster laziness. It's about curating your social circle for success and well-being. And finally, for the mindset part, we have don't worry. The author quotes Mark Twain, "I am an old man and have known many troubles, most of which never happened."
That's powerful. I know I spend way too much time worrying about things that never come to pass.
The book explains that worrying loves a lazy person because they have nothing else to do. It also says worrying starts when you don't believe in yourself. The only way to destroy worry is through action. If you're worried about your health, take care of your health. Thinking about it all day won't make you healthier. The book classifies worries into two types: those you can control and those you can't. Worrying about controllable things is good worrying because it pushes you to act. But worrying about uncontrollable things is stupid because you can't do anything about them and it robs your happiness. The rule is, never worry about what you can't control, and if you can control it, act immediately.
All right, we've adjusted our mindset. Now for the practical stuff. What are some of the key tips and techniques from the book?
The book starts this section with 20 productivity tips I wish I had known earlier. It's a broader collection of advice. I'll highlight a few that resonate most strongly with the book's overall theme. For example, one tip is to master one skill. The book argues against being a jack of all trades and encourages deep expertise in one area, which allows you to become incredibly efficient and valuable. Another is think long-term. This means making choices today that benefit your future self, rather than giving in to immediate gratification, which often leads to procrastination. It's about delayed gratification for greater rewards.
So, like investing time now to learn a new software that will save me hours in the future?
Exactly. The book also mentions control your information diet, meaning be careful what you consume, as irrelevant news or social media can steal your focus and time. And a critical one for many is don't be afraid to fail. This ties back to the mindset section, viewing failures as learning opportunities rather than setbacks. It's about rapid experimentation and iteration. These tips are all about developing efficient habits and a strategic approach to your work and life. Next, a really famous one that the book covers is the 80-20th rule, also known as the Pareto principle.
I've heard of that. Isn't it like 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts?
Precisely. The book explains that it applies to almost everything. For instance, 80% of your problems come from 20% of your mistakes, or 80% of your sales come from 20% of your customers. The power of this rule is that it teaches you to focus your energy on the most impactful 20%. Instead of spreading yourself thin, identify the few key activities that yield the majority of your results and prioritize those. It's the ultimate lazy productivity hack. Do less, achieve more, but make sure it's the right less. Then there's the Parkinson's law. This one states that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion.
So, if I give myself 2 weeks to finish a project that could realistically be done in a few days, I'll probably take the full 2 weeks.
Exactly. The book uses this to highlight why strict deadlines are so important. If you don't set a tight deadline, you'll naturally procrastinate and drag out the task. It's a natural human tendency to fill the allotted time. The implication is to set aggressive but realistic deadlines to force yourself to be efficient and avoid unnecessary delays. It encourages you to work with a sense of urgency. The book also includes 8 Japanese techniques to overcome laziness. It touches on philosophies like Kaizen and Ikigai.
Japanese techniques? Really? That sounds intriguing. What are some of those?
Well, one is Kaizen, which is about continuous, small improvements. Instead of trying to make a huge, overwhelming change, you focus on tiny, manageable steps every day. So, if you want to start exercising, you might start with just 5 minutes a day and gradually increase it. The book also mentions Ikigai, which is about finding your purpose or reason for being. When you know your why, it becomes much easier to overcome laziness and stay motivated. These techniques are about building momentum and finding deep personal motivation. Another interesting tip is do this for 10 minutes before you sleep. The book suggests doing a quick review of your day and planning for the next day.
So, like a winding down productivity ritual?
Yes, the idea is to spend 10 minutes reflecting on what you achieved, what you still need to do, and setting a clear intention for the next day. This helps clear your mind of lingering thoughts, reduces anxiety about tomorrow's tasks, and sets you up for a more productive morning. It's about organizing your thoughts and creating a mental roadmap before you go to sleep, so you wake up with a clearer purpose. Closely related is 10 tiny habits that will change your life. This section reinforces the power of small, consistent actions.
This sounds like Kaizen again, but applied to daily routines.
Absolutely. The book emphasizes that huge changes are often unsustainable. Instead, focus on building tiny, almost imperceptible habits that compound over time. An example might be reading just 1 page of a book every day or doing 1 push-up. The goal isn't the immediate impact of the single action, but the consistency and the identity you build around being someone who does that action. These tiny habits reduce the friction of starting and make progress inevitable. Next, a really effective technique is the Pomodoro technique. This one is pretty well known, but the book explains it simply. Work for 25 minutes, uninterrupted, then take a 5-minute break and repeat.
I've heard of that. It's great for focus, especially when you have a big project.
Exactly. The author suggests adjusting the 25/5 minute ratio to what works for you, emphasizing that rest is crucial when you feel mentally tired. It helps you get into a flow state where you stop worrying about everything else and lose track of time, which the book says is a sign you're doing something you like. It's excellent for breaking down large tasks and maintaining concentration. Then there's the 5-minute rule. This is for all those small tasks you keep putting off. The rule is, if something can be done in under 5 minutes, do it now.
Like replying to a quick email or putting away that one dish.
Exactly. The book says we procrastinate on these small tasks, and they pile up, making us feel overwhelmed. It quotes Benjamin Franklin, "Beware of little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship." Small pending tasks can destroy your productivity. The advice is to list all those tiny tasks and just get them done immediately. This prevents mental clutter and keeps your workspace and mind clear. And a related one is the 2-day rule. This one is about consistency. You can miss something for one day, but never for 2 days straight.
So, if I miss my gym workout today, it's okay. But if I miss it tomorrow too, I'm in trouble.
Precisely. The book explains that missing 2 days in a row can make skipping a habit, and then you might stop for many days. Consistency is vital for moving towards your goals. It applies to anything you want to be consistent with. Reading, writing, learning, exercising. It's a simple but powerful guardrail against falling off track entirely. Finally, there's wake up. This isn't just about waking up early, although that's part of it. It's about being aware and present. The book quotes Marcus Aurelius. "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." It ties back to the idea that time is precious and running out, so you should live fully and do what you want now.
So, it's a call to action to stop wasting time and truly appreciate life. To be proactive about what you want to achieve. That brings us back to the core message of the Art of Laziness. It's not about being idle, but about maximizing your time so you can actually live a life you love. Luke, this has been incredibly enlightening. The Art of Laziness sounds like a game changer for anyone struggling with procrastination or feeling overwhelmed. It really shifts the perspective from just doing more to doing the right things effectively.
Absolutely. The mindset shifts are just as important, if not more important, than the techniques themselves. Taking 100% responsibility, stepping out of your comfort zone, focusing on meaningful work, letting go of perfectionism, avoiding mediocrity and multitasking, embracing a daily routine, learning to say no, not overworking, acting now, doing the hard thing first, delegating, learning faster, surrounding yourself with positive people, and not worrying about uncontrollable things are all foundational. Then, applying practical tips like the 80-20th rule, Parkinson's law, Japanese techniques, nightly planning, tiny habits, the Pomodoro technique, the 5-minute rule, and the 2-day rule can really transform your productivity and your life.
It's really about being intentional with your time and energy. Before we sign off, just a reminder to everyone listening, if you're interested in diving deeper into the Art of Laziness and grabbing a copy, you can find our affiliate link in the description below.
And if you enjoyed this conversation, please remember to share this episode with a friend who might benefit from these insights. Hit that like button and subscribe to Long Story Spoken for more deep dives into fascinating books and topics.
Thanks for tuning in, and remember, embrace the art of being productive, not just busy. We'll catch you next time on Long Story Spoken.